The power. The authority. The absolute breakdown of order. When a suspended superstar walks through that door like he owns the place, when contracts get twisted into weapons, when a general manager's authority gets challenged on live television, you know something massive is about to explode. This isn't just another backstage confrontation. This is the moment Paul Heyman's master plan collided with Nick Aldis's iron fist, and what happened next shook SmackDown to its core. Picture this. Drew McIntyre, the Scottish psychopath, has just been handed an indefinite suspension by SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis. The man attacked a referee with a Claymore kick right in the middle of the ring. He destroyed the main event. He crossed every line you could possibly cross. And Nick Aldis, standing on that entrance ramp, told the entire WWE universe that Drew McIntyre was done. Suspended. Persona non grata. Not welcome. Those words echoed through the arena like a judge's gavel coming down on a defendant. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. 1 week later, SmackDown is building towards Survivor Series WarGames, the biggest match of the year. 5-on-5 warfare inside 2 rings surrounded by a cage. And Paul Heyman, the Oracle, the wise man, the man who built empires and destroyed them just as quickly, he's putting together a team. The Vision. Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed. Logan Paul. These men are absolute destroyers. They're facing off against CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and the Usos. 2 world champions on one team. The stakes couldn't be higher. The main event of SmackDown that night was Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Bronson Reed. Earlier in the show, Nick Aldis is in his office, and who walks in? Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed. Heyman's got this look on his face. You know that look. That calculating, scheming expression that tells you he's 3 steps ahead of everyone in the room. He slides some documents across the desk to Nick Aldis. WarGames documents. And there's a clause in there. A loophole. It states that Paul Heyman can recruit anyone from Raw or SmackDown for his WarGames team. Anyone. Now Aldis is reading through this paperwork, and you can see the wheels turning in his head. He knows something's coming. He knows Heyman didn't just walk into his office to chat about the weather. But legally, contractually, there's nothing he can do about it. The contract is ironclad. Cody Rhodes barges into the office, confronts Heyman, and Reed face to face. The tension is suffocating. You could cut it with a knife. Words are exchanged. Threats are made. And somehow, someway, Cody agrees to defend his championship against Bronson Reed in the main event. Nick Aldis makes it official. The match is set. Fast forward to the main event. The Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado is absolutely electric. This crowd is on fire. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the man who finished his story at WrestleMania, is about to go to war with Bronson Reed, all 330 pounds of devastating power and raw aggression. The bell rings. These 2 warriors are throwing everything they have at each other. Reed is using his massive frame to overwhelm Cody. Cody is using his speed, his technical prowess, his heart to stay in this fight. The action spills to the outside. Bodies are crashing into barricades. The crowd is losing their minds. And then, music hits. Not just any music. The Vision's theme. Braun Breaker and Logan Paul emerge from the back, and they're not here to watch. They're here to destroy. They rush the ring. They attack Cody Rhodes. They're stomping him, beating him down, and the referee is calling for the bell. This match is over. Disqualification. But that doesn't matter to these men. They don't care about rules. They don't care about wins and losses. They care about sending a message. The Usos' music hits. Jimmy and G sprint down that ramp like their lives depend on it. They're trying to save Cody. They're throwing super kicks left and right. The crowd is going absolutely ballistic. It's chaos. Complete and total chaos. 4 men are brawling all over ringside. Bodies are flying. The announce table is in danger. Security doesn't know what to do. The referees are helpless. This is spiraling out of control. And then it happens. The moment that changed everything. Another figure appears at the top of the ramp. The silhouette is unmistakable. Those broad shoulders. That intensity in every step. It's Drew McIntyre. The man who was supposed to be suspended. The man who was banned from SmackDown. The man who Nick Aldis said was persona non grata. He's walking down that ramp with purpose. With violence in his eyes. With a smirk on his face that says he knows exactly what he's doing. Drew McIntyre enters the ring like a wrecking ball. He levels Jimmy Uso with a Claymore kick. The sound echoes through the arena like a gunshot. G tries to fight back, but Drew is unstoppable. Another Claymore. G crumples to the mat. Cody Rhodes is barely conscious, struggling to get to his feet. Drew circles him like a predator stalking wounded prey. He's savoring this moment. He's drinking in the chaos. And then, boom. Claymore kick to Cody Rhodes. The WWE champion is laid out. The ring is littered with bodies. The Vision and Logan Paul are standing tall. And Drew McIntyre is in the center of it all. Now if you're watching this video and you're feeling that energy, that intensity, that absolute insanity of what just went down, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. Show some love to SLAMZONE. Subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell because we're breaking down the biggest moments in wrestling every single week. And trust me, this story is just getting started. We're in this together, and I need you in the SLAMZONE family. So smash that subscribe button. Let's keep this momentum going. But back to the chaos unfolding in that ring. Nick Aldis, the general manager of SmackDown, comes storming down the ramp. His face is red. You can see the fury radiating off him. His authority has just been completely undermined. His suspension meant nothing. Drew McIntyre just walked through his ban like it was a suggestion, not an order. Aldis is screaming at Drew. He's screaming at Paul Heyman. He's demanding answers. How is this possible? How is Drew McIntyre in this building right now? Paul Heyman, cool as ice, walks over to Nick Aldis. He's holding those WarGames documents. He points to the clause. The loophole. The contract states he can recruit anyone from Raw or SmackDown. Drew McIntyre is still a WWE superstar. He's still on the roster. The suspension only means he can't appear on SmackDown under normal circumstances. But WarGames isn't a normal circumstance. It's a premium live event. It's Survivor Series. And the contract gives Paul Heyman the authority to choose anyone at all. Nick Aldis is speechless. You can see it in his eyes. The realization, the frustration, the absolute helplessness of being outmaneuvered by one of the greatest minds in wrestling history. Paul Heyman didn't just bend the rules, he weaponized them. He turned Nick Aldis's own authority against him, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that the SmackDown general manager can do about it in this moment. Drew McIntyre grabs a microphone. His accent cuts through the arena. Suspended? Aldis, you better send the freaking army. The crowd erupts in boos. The disrespect is palpable. This man just mocked the authority figure on live television. He just challenged the entire system. And Paul Heyman is standing there with that smile. That knowing, devious smile that tells you everything worked exactly according to plan. Heyman hands the WarGames contract to Drew McIntyre. It's official. The Scottish Warrior is the fourth member of Paul Heyman's team. The Vision now has Braun Breaker, the powerhouse who's been destroying everyone in his path. Bronson Reed, the Tsunami, who can flatten anyone with one splash. Logan Paul, the polarizing superstar who brings chaos wherever he goes. And now Drew McIntyre, a former WWE champion, a man who's beaten everyone from Roman Reigns to Seth Rollins. This team is stacked. This team is dangerous. This team might be unstoppable. But wait, there's more. The following week on Raw, things escalate even further. Both teams are in the arena. Tensions are at an all-time high. Punk is pacing back and forth in the ring. He's fired up. He's ready for war. The Vision and Logan Paul attack. It's another massive brawl. Bodies are flying everywhere. And then, the music hits. Not just any music. Brock Lesnar's music. The Beast Incarnate. The Conqueror. The man who's decimated everyone who's ever stepped in the ring with him. Brock Lesnar walks down that ramp with Paul Heyman by his side. The crowd loses their minds. Lesnar hasn't been seen in months. And now he's here. He's the fifth member of Paul Heyman's WarGames team. He enters the ring and immediately starts throwing people around like ragdolls. Suplex City is in session. CM Punk gets launched across the ring. Cody Rhodes catches a German suplex. The Usos try to fight back, but Brock is on another level. He's an unstoppable force of nature. Lesnar stands in the center of the ring, arms raised, with Paul Heyman congratulating him. The Vision surrounds them. This team is complete. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar. 5 of the most dangerous men in WWE. Paul Heyman has assembled an army. The Vision has evolved into something terrifying. But then, the music hits. That music. The Tribal Chief's music. Roman Reigns. The OTC. The original Tribal Chief. The man who held the WWE Championship for over 1,000 days. He emerges from the back, and the arena explodes. The loudest reaction of the night. Roman Reigns walks down that ramp with purpose. With confidence. With the presence of a man who knows he's the final piece of the puzzle. Reigns enters the ring and immediately goes after Brock Lesnar. These two have history. Years of battles. Years of rivalry. They're throwing hands. The crowd is chanting, "This is awesome." Roman Reigns has joined forces with CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and the Usos. 2 of the biggest stars in wrestling history, 2 world champions, the tag team specialists, all united against a common enemy. This is going to be war. The final piece of the puzzle falls into place when the Usos defeat Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre to earn the WarGames advantage for their team. This means Team Punk enters first and gets the numbers advantage at the start of the match. It's a critical strategic victory. But even with that advantage, can they overcome the sheer power and brutality of Paul Heyman's team? As we head toward Survivor Series, the question on everyone's mind is this: did Nick Aldis lose control of SmackDown? Paul Heyman outmaneuvered him. Drew McIntyre disrespected him. His suspension was rendered meaningless by a contract loophole. His authority was challenged on live television. And yet, somehow, Heyman played by the rules. He didn't break any laws. He didn't violate any policies. He simply found a way around them. This is what makes Paul Heyman a genius. This is what makes him one of the most dangerous men in wrestling. He doesn't need to fight. He doesn't need to throw punches. He uses his mind. He uses contracts, clauses, and loopholes as weapons. He builds teams that can destroy anyone. And Nick Aldis, for all his authority, for all his power as general manager, couldn't stop it. But here's the twist. After the confrontation, Heyman actually kept his word. The following week when Drew attacked Cody Rhodes outside the arena, leaving him unconscious in his own tour bus, Nick Aldis confronted Paul Heyman and the Vision backstage. Aldis made it clear. He knew Heyman was up to something. He knew whatever was planned wasn't good, and he demanded to know where Drew McIntyre was. Heyman, with that respectful tone he uses when he's playing the political game, told Aldis that Drew wasn't in the building. He wasn't in the arena. He wasn't in the locker room. Heyman said he asked Drew to leave out of respect for Nick Aldis' suspension. And technically, Drew wasn't inside the building when he attacked Cody. He was outside, in the parking lot attacking Cody's bus before the show even started. It's the ultimate display of manipulation. Heyman honored the letter of Aldis' rule while completely violating the spirit of it. He kept Drew out of the arena while still allowing him to cause chaos. He respected the suspension while ensuring his team had every advantage. This is chess, not checkers. And Paul Heyman is playing on a level that Nick Aldis can't match. As Survivor Series approaches, Nick Aldis is left in an impossible position. He's the general manager of SmackDown, but one of his biggest stars is running wild on Raw and at premium live events. He suspended Drew McIntyre, but that suspension has become meaningless. He tried to maintain order, but Paul Heyman weaponized the rules against him. The authority of Nick Aldis has been challenged, tested, and arguably broken. But don't count Nick Aldis out just yet. He's a former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. He's a veteran of the business. He knows how to play the long game. There are rumors backstage that Aldis is looking at permanent solutions. Could Drew McIntyre be banned from SmackDown permanently? Could there be a brand switch coming? Could Nick Aldis take this all the way to Triple H, the chief content officer of WWE, and demand action? The implications of this situation go far beyond one match. This is about the power structure of WWE. This is about whether general managers have real authority or if they're just figureheads. This is about Paul Heyman proving once again that he's the smartest man in the room. And it's about Drew McIntyre proving that he's willing to burn every bridge and break every rule to get what he wants. WarGames is going to be absolute carnage. 2 rings, 1 cage, 10 of the most dangerous men in WWE. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar vs. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, GUSO, Jimmy USO, and Roman Reigns. Champions on both sides. Legends on both sides. Rivalries that span years. Personal vendettas that run deep. And somewhere in the background, Paul Heyman is pulling the strings. He built the bloodline. He managed Brock Lesnar for years. He aligned with CM Punk. He turned on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And now he's orchestrated this entire situation to give his team every possible advantage. The Vision isn't just a faction. It's Paul Heyman's masterpiece. His final statement. His ultimate power play. Nick Aldis can't stop what's coming at Survivor Series, but what he can control is what happens after. Will Drew McIntyre ever be allowed back on SmackDown? Will Paul Heyman face consequences for his manipulation? Will Nick Aldis find a way to reassert his authority and prove that being general manager means something? The answer to those questions will shape the future of SmackDown. They'll determine whether Nick Aldis is remembered as a strong leader who maintained order or as someone who lost control when it mattered most. Paul Heyman has thrown down the gauntlet. He's challenged the authority structure of WWE, and now everyone is waiting to see how Nick Aldis responds. Before we wrap this up, I want to say something from the heart. Wrestling is about passion. It's about these moments that make us jump out of our seats. It's about the storylines that keep us up at night wondering what happens next. And having you here, watching this video, being part of the SLAMZONE family, that means everything. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think about this whole situation. Do you think Nick Aldis got outplayed? Do you think Paul Heyman is a genius? Who do you think wins at WarGames? I read every single comment, and I want to hear from you. This is the beauty of professional wrestling. It's not just about who wins and who loses. It's about the journey. It's about the power plays, the mind games, the chess moves that happen behind the scenes. Paul Heyman didn't need to beat Nick Aldis in a fight. He outsmarted him. He used the system against him. He proved that sometimes the pen is mightier than the sword, or in this case, the contract is mightier than the suspension. Drew McIntyre got exactly what he wanted. He's in WarGames. He's got a shot at revenge against Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and everyone who stood in his way. He mocked Nick Aldis to his face and got away with it. And the scary part? He's not done. The Scottish psychopath is just getting started. The stage is set. Survivor Series is going to be legendary. And when those cage doors lock, when those 10 men go to war inside that structure, we're going to witness something special. Something brutal. Something unforgettable. This is where legends are made. This is where careers are defined. This is where everything Paul Heyman has built either succeeds or crumbles. Nick Aldis crushed Heyman's plan? No. Paul Heyman crushed Nick Aldis's authority. He took a suspension and turned it into a weapon. He took a rule and made it work for him. And now, as we head into Survivor Series, the balance of power in WWE has shifted. The question isn't whether Nick Aldis can stop Paul Heyman. The question is whether anyone can. Thank you for watching SLAMZONE. Thank you for being part of this journey. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the family. We've got so much more coming your way. Breakdowns, analyses, reactions to all the biggest moments in wrestling. This is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned, stay hyped, and remember, in the Slam Zone, we don't just watch wrestling, we live it.